Our next speaker is the chair of the Board of Trustees of Nathan and Lillian Weinberg Family Foundation. She currently serves on the board of Mazon, a Jewish response to hunger, and Hekdesh, Dorot Alumni Giving Circle. She was the recipient of the Dorot Fellowship in Israel for 213 and 214, where she worked to advance equal opportunities for Palestinian or Arab Israelis. What you may not be able to read about her in her online CV is that she can recite the name of every parasha in the Torah. And if that's not Jewish enough for you, then in the time that we spent the last week, she told me that every Shabbat dinner, her mother asks her, "When will you have kids?" She's not even married yet. Everyone, a true next gen. Please give a warm welcome to Jenna Weinberg.
Growing up, Shabbat dinner was an integral part of my family's week. I was often tasked with setting the table. Carefully, I would place each gold-trimmed plate and silverware at each seat. The candlesticks I'd place next to where my grandmother and mother normally sat. A challah I would place on each end of our long table. At my own seat, I would place a siddur, since I say Kiddush in our home. And by each fork, I would place a quarter. It's my family's tradition to give tzedakah together at the Shabbat table. But tzedakah did not simply mean just placing the coin in its box. Each person at our Shabbat table was required to share a good deed that they had done over the course of the week. This positive action was something that was expected of me weekly. And not only was I just expected to be positively engaged with the world around me, I was also expected to reflect on it, to recount it, and to take pride in it. I was thus raised understanding two important things about philanthropy. One, philanthropy is about more than just the money. And two, I was old enough to be a philanthropist the moment I could put a coin in a box, consciously do a good deed, and reflect on it. The Next Gen Donors Report, which was published by the Johnson Center in 2164, and which Jason spoke about earlier, showed me that my peers have a similar perception of philanthropy. The report talks about what our perception is in this way. My peers and I want to give with all of the assets that we possess. This includes our time, talent, treasure, and ties. Once engaged, we want to go all in. 4 years ago, my parents, aunts, and uncles decided to pass down responsibility for my family's supporting foundation with the Baltimore Jewish Federation. They sat down my cousins, siblings, and me to tell us the story about how and why this foundation came to be, and how they had interpreted their charge as trustees. "Now it's your turn," they said. "This foundation is a privilege. You should never consider the grants that you make as part of the foundation as a replacement for your own personal giving and involvement. Use this as an opportunity to get to know yourself and your cousins better. Make this your own." This year now, as chair of our board of trustees, I'm reflecting on the philanthropy that my cousins and I are just beginning to create, and how it looks slightly different than that of my parents. We still proudly fund the Baltimore Federation and its agencies. And we're also seeking out new Jewish organizations that resonate with our own personal interests. My parents understood that it is not only natural, but it is in fact Jewish, that I would relate to and express my Judaism and my philanthropy in different ways than they do. Jonathan Sarna, the renowned Jewish historian, wrote that continuity may depend upon discontinuity. In every generation, Judaism has evolved and changed in order to survive, whether it be the birth of prayer to replace sacrifice, or the creation of Jewish denominations, even the birth of Zionism and the establishment of the State of Israel. Each of these was unimaginable by previous generations. They challenged basic assumptions. They caused significant divisiveness. And they undoubtedly strengthened Judaism and promoted Jewish continuity. Today, I currently serve as the interim director of Slingshot. Slingshot works to promote innovation in Jewish life in North America, in order that we will continue to have a Jewish community that meets the relevant needs of each generation. Slingshot was founded by a group of funders in their 20s and 30s who felt a disconnect with the organizations that their parents supported. They were looking for a new way to engage with Jewish philanthropy. Every year, Slingshot puts out a guide that highlights the organizations that we believe to be the most innovative and impactful in the country. One of the organizations that we support, another preview, since Passover is on its way, is called Haggadot.com. This platform allows users to make their very own personalized Haggadah. On the site, you can find readings, art, video, songs, poems that anyone in the Jewish community can upload and share with the rest of the world. Haggadot.com makes it easy for anyone in the Jewish community anywhere to find compelling new resources for the Passover Seder, which in terms makes sure that the traditions and rituals and themes of Passover remain relevant to each generation. Over the course of my time at Slingshot, I've held the following roles: participant, funder, board member, and now staff. For me, wearing the two hats of being both a nonprofit professional and also a funder is something that I will struggle with throughout my career, especially today when I'm just beginning to prove myself in both arenas. Because I hope to have a mission-driven career, it's only natural that I'll want to work for the same organizations that I'm interested in funding. To me, philanthropy can never just be about the grant itself. I want to be hands-on with my giving. I want to touch it and feel it. I want to find innovative solutions that solve problems from their roots. I'm impatient for change. This type of philanthropy is something that is impossible to separate from any part of my life. It is an all-encompassing expression of my identity, just like I learned at my family's Shabbat table. Thank you.